Namaste. In this episode of Youth Ki Baat, Pune Founders Edition by Youth of India Foundation, we have a conversation with Devang Raja, a venture capitalist, brand strategist, and a name deeply rooted in the startup ecosystem. From building over 200 plus brands to backing early stage startups that are creating real value, Devangji brings a blend of intuition, strategy, and soul to every room he walks into. In this conversation, we dive into the topics of the biggest myths young founders believe about entrepreneurship, what investors actually look for beyond just pitch decks, why clarity matters more than capital, how to build teams, narratives, and systems that actually last. This conversation is not just about chasing money, it is about building something you would want to wake up to every day. Namaste Devangji, it is an absolute privilege to have you here with Youth Ki Baat and Youth of India Foundation. Looking forward to an absolutely lovely conversation. So, let's start with the basic. You had a really steady financial career. Why would you jump to startup? And what was that one push that you had that, okay, I need to start a startup?
Sure. So before I get into the journey, first of all, thank you Tanishri and Youth of India Foundation for inviting me over. Right, it's an absolute pleasure to be here and meeting young people like you. It's a real privilege for me every time.
Thank you so much.
Great. So jumping onto my journey, yes, I did have a good corporate job at one point in time. Before I tell you about why did I jump, let me give you a brief background about my educational background as well.
Sure.
So I did my MBA from Wellington, post which I've done my CFP and FA from CI London. Thereafter, worked with companies like Capita, Willis, Prudential, all Europe-based companies for around about 12, 13 odd years. And then in 2016, I don't know what bug bait me, yeah. But then I said, enough is enough. I want to do something by myself. So I come from a Gujarati background family, okay? And business runs in our blood basically. Right. And that's where I said I want to do something by myself. That's how I started thinking about doing a startup by myself. Okay. So one fine day, I came home after the party. It was a weekend. I came home probably early morning, yeah, and I see these guys washing cars in the parking lot. Yeah, so the local guys who wash cars in the parking lots. Yeah, and all of a sudden I started thinking, how much would this guy be earning, right? And then I got to know there's a head of all these guys who makes really decent amount. And how? I'll tell you. So this guy charges approximately 500 rupees per car. All right. Okay. He washes anywhere around 500 cars, right? Our building, the next building, and a couple of buildings here and there. Okay, so total 500 odd cars this guy is washing, which comes to around 2,50,000. This guy had around 10 guys that he had got to wash the cars. Okay. Okay. And this guy pays anywhere around 5,000 rupees to these guys. Okay. 50,000 rupees is the salary. Okay. Your buckets, your washing clothes, your soap, all these things, including the cost might come up to 10,000, 15,000, not more than that. And I said, this guy's making fantastic money. Right. That's what triggered me, and I said, why can't we organize the unorganized sector of daily car cleaning? And that's how I started working on that idea. Right. I worked on an idea for around 6, 8 months, a year kind of a thing. And in between I used to attend a lot of events. Right? And that's where I met a friend who was looking to raise money, just like how I was looking to raise money at that point in time. Yeah. And I told him, I'll help you raise money, right? And he said, fantastic, Devang, I'll give you commission if you help me raise money. So I knew an investor who wanted to invest money. He did not invest in my business of car cleaning, but that investor invested in that guy's business, yeah, right? And I got my commission. And I said, wow, fantastic. This is a great business to get into, right? So that's how Venture Wolf was born, actually. Okay. Right. So, and then I said, wow, fantastic. Can I really take this up as a profession? What would I need to get into? And then I realized I started making good connects across investors, right? And over a period of time, I also started realizing that there's a lot of things that go into fundraising, which a lot of entrepreneurs don't know. And probably I was making those mistakes, right? Then I started getting into it and finalizing things, polishing things up, right? That I could start training entrepreneurs, right? Who wanted to raise money. And that's how Venture Wolf was born in 2016. Oh my God, that is amazing. That is really amazing. One thing that you said right now, fundraising has some challenges of their own. Plenty of them. Could you please address those challenges so that a young entrepreneur, if sure, wants to go and raise some funds, sure, has that in their back of their mind, okay, I need to take care of these things? Sure. See, again, fundraising is a process. It's an end-to-end, long, lengthy process. Okay? Right. And during the entire process, if you falter once or if you miss out on one opportunity of, or anywhere during the entire process the investor feels nahi yaar maza nahi aaya, or probably I don't want to go ahead with this entrepreneur or the startup, the entire journey you'll have to start again from zero with the next investor, right?
Right.
That's how it works in the fundraising. Okay, various documents are required. Okay, starting from your pitch deck, your financial forecast, your company valuation is required, your information memorandum is required. Plenty of documents go into it. Again, if you have a business that requires SOP, you need good SOPs to be there in place if you want to talk to the investors, right? There's an entire data room that needs to be created.
Hmm.
Okay, once you are there in business, once you're doing business,
Okay.
it helps you put your case forward in a much better way as compared to someone who does not have a data room ready, right? At Venture Wolf, we help you create that.
Right. That's fantastic.
Right. Again, fundraising is a journey. A lot of entrepreneurs today think fundraising is their birthright. It's not your birthright, let me tell you that. Okay. Investors will only invest in you if they want to invest. Right?
Yes.
A couple of days ago, I just put up a post on my LinkedIn. A lot of people come back to me and ask me at a very early stage, Devang, what valuation will I get? Right? Don't think about valuation. First, if you ask me step by step, the first step that an entrepreneur should do when he's talking to an investor is impress the investor with his idea or business.
Right.
Only if an investor thinks that your idea is investable, right, and he'll be able to multiply his money, he will give you the money.
Right.
Right? Don't rush for valuation at this point. Valuation comes at a much later stage, right? That's something that the entrepreneurs need to understand.
That's it. Do you think Shark Tank and episodes like this is actually fantasizing or glorifying investments in a wrong way, if I put it
Yeah.
like that?
Again, so what you see on television is absolutely crap. Let me tell you that. Okay, no investors invest money that way.
Hmm.
Nobody will invest money talking to you for 15 minutes.
Hmm.
Right? See, again, it's an entertainment show. Let's look at it as an entertainment show. Simple.
Sure.
Yeah?
All right.
The fundraising is a lengthy process. It can take anywhere from around 2 months, can go up till 6 months, depending on case to case basis. How well you are prepared, right? First of all, how well you are prepared. Are the required documents ready? Do you actually know how to pitch to the investors? That's very, very important, right? So we help you prepare yourself before we put you in front of the investors as well. So we do a mock interview with you,
All
right?
right.
We also give the investor FAQs. Out of the experience, we've designed the investor FAQ. So we know 80% of the times investor will ask you these questions. 20% of the questions can come outside the syllabus.
Right.
Okay? 80% of the question paper we ideally leak it out to you and tell you if you are prepared with this and if you're really hands-on with your business or your startup, okay, you should be able to crack it now. Right?
Right.
So it's a very lengthy process. Nobody gives you money in 15 minutes. Right? There's an entire due diligence process that happens. Right? Which includes your financial due diligence, your legal due diligence, your IT due diligence. Plenty of things go into it. Right? While doing the due diligence, if the investor or his team feels that no, you guys are hiding something or they don't have the required clarity, they will come back to you with questions. And if you're not able to answer those questions, again, you've lost it. Right? So it's a long, lengthy, driven process. It doesn't happen overnight.
How do you think first impressions matter in that case? How do you think the personality of the other person matters? There's this buzzword called elevator pitch.
Right.
Could you give your
Absolutely.
insights on that?
Absolutely. See, again, first impressions matter to me. Okay, at least to me. So when I look at you, you should be appealing. I should feel like talking to you. Right?
Right.
That's where your outer physical appearance also matters. You should be very well groomed when you go for an interview, where
Right.
you go and talk to an investor. You can't walk in with chappals while you go and raise money. Okay, let me be very honest. Okay, if you don't have money to buy shoes, you first go and do a job somewhere and buy a shoe first. Right, that's how it needs to be. Okay, elevator pitches, definitely yes, elevator pitches work. How? It's a quick 30-second, 60-second. Investors can meet you anywhere. Okay, you can
Right.
find, if you know who an investor is, you might come across an investor in a coffee shop, in a restaurant, in an elevator, wherever, right? Probably the investor might not give you 5 minutes, 10 minutes at that point in time. But what you need to do there is, hi sir, hi ma'am, this is so and so from so and so startup, right? I'm working on this kind of a startup which is into whatever thing, healthcare, AI, whatever. Yeah. I would, if you don't mind, can you give me your number or email ID where I can send you the details, right?
Sure.
Those 30 seconds are very, very important. First 30 seconds, where you actually trigger a conversation with the investor, take the investor's email ID, right? Even if you have an email ID, if you already have the email ID, it's a good opportunity for you to talk to the investor. Hi, sir or ma'am, I sent across an email to you, right? Probably you've missed it, right? Can I resend it to you? Is this the right email ID that I've sent it to? You need to know how to trigger those kind of conversations.
Sure.
Again, as a founder, you need to be a good communicator. Let me tell you that. If you are not good at communicating things, you will not be a good leader. You need to be good at storytelling. Why people invest in, when people start believing, trusting that one industry, that industry grows overall.
Right.
Right. Look at the government grants. Okay, there are various government grants available today. Right. AIC grants are available. Maharashtra Startup State Scheme grants are available. Various states schemes are available today. Right. Entrepreneurs need to make the best use of these skills that are available.
That is very right. You are a Viksit Bharat ambassador as well. Could you elaborate more on that too?
Sure, absolutely. So I have been given the job to promote Viksit Bharat wherever I go and talk about. Thanks for bringing that topic up.
Yes.
So again, so I would love to see India as a developed country in 2047, just like every one of us want to see India developed, right? And again, so I'm here to help anybody who needs any help, support, any entrepreneur who wants to do anything that can make India Viksit Bharat.
In fact, our main aim in the Youth of India Foundation, everywhere, if you're making even the smallest of posts on Instagram, we have hashtag Youth 2047 there.
Fantastic.
So we are also working towards Viksit Bharat 2047. So what do you think are some things that the youth should know and should look at moving forward? What are the things they should focus upon? Sustainability comes in. There are other things, leadership comes in. What do you think are the qualities that are coming in?
Plenty of qualities. Okay. Today, see again, if you look at today's youth in India, they have got so many opportunities in front of them that probably no other generation had got earlier. Okay. Today is the best time for you guys. That's how I look at it. Right. In terms of money, in terms of experience, in terms of growth, in terms of political stability, everything you look at 360 degrees. Yeah. India is the place where you need to be.
Right.
The whole globe is talking about that. It's not only me. Right?
Yes.
And if you're here in India, if you're building something, in next 10 years, you will see yourself growing. Right?
That is very
Of
right.
course. So to do that, you need various qualities, right? Your leadership qualities, your communication qualities, your interpersonal skills, plenty of things. Okay. But with time, you learn all of that. Right?
Right.
Today, somebody as young as you, yeah, is doing these kind of podcasts. What else do you want? Yeah? And I'm sure you would have learned a lot of things while you've done these kind of podcasts.
Right.
Everybody learns, but you have to start somewhere and continue doing that.
That is very right. I think the main part of doing something is just the first step.
Absolutely.
And just starting with it.
Absolutely.
And with that, I think in today's world, networking and mentoring are two subjects that most people are talking about and are buzzwords. What do you think? How important is networking and building connections in today's world?
Very important. So a lot of entrepreneurs I see, they want to raise funds, but they don't want to attend the networking events, or they don't even want to talk to the investors. Right? They might look at appointing a fundraising company, okay, and say it's the fundraising company. No, investors don't invest in a fundraising company. Okay, they invest in the entrepreneurs. Fundraising consultants or businesses are there to help you, support you, guide you, groom you, take you to the investors. Why? Because probably we know more investors than you, right? But you have to network. You have to talk to the investors, right? Only if the investor trusts you with their money, they'll give you the money, right? Again, for that, networking is very, very important, right? Attend as many networking events as possible. At Wolf Group, we guys are coming up with Wolf Club now. So we started Venture Wolf in 2016. Then we did our investor summit 2023 and 2024, right? Right. 2023 we had 250 plus delegates who attended the event.
Wow, that's amazing.
2024 we had 1,000 plus delegates,
That's even
including
more
investors
amazing.
who attended. And we had more than 350 investors attending Wolf Den Investor Summit last year, 2024. Some of the top-notch investors of the country had come and attended our event. Right? That's how it was. It's all there on the internet. You guys can check it out. Right? This year again, we've delayed that a little bit, but we'll do that. Right? But apart from that, we're now coming up with Wolf Club, which is once every month a networking event that we guys are coming up with. Right? Network. The more people you talk to, the more things you'll learn, the more connects you'll make. Right? And the more connects you make, could be an investor connect, could be your colleague, could be a co-founder, could be an employee, could be your supplier, could be your buyer, could be anyone, right? But meet people. To do business, you'll have to meet people and talk to people.
Right.
Nobody till date has been able to do business sitting in a room.
Very right.
Right? And today's entrepreneurs, the biggest myth is I can do business or I can become a founder sitting in an AC cabin. No. You have to get down on the ground, get your hands dirty when required. You need to be really hands-on with your business. That's how it is. Right? That's how you become a good entrepreneur, good businessman.
I think that brings me to the quote that network is actually your net worth.
Absolutely.
At this point of time.
Absolutely.
So one other thing that comes up to my mind right now is, as you said, a founder has to go through a lot of hardships, a lot of challenges, and your story is one of those where you say that you were the lone wolf out there.
Yes.
So how do you define your journey in that?
Again, so any entrepreneur will go through ups and downs. It's not only my journey, but I'm sure every entrepreneur has his own story to talk about, right? So just giving you my journey from 2016 till date, okay? So 2016 we started ideating, 2017 we formalized it, 2017, 18 kind of a thing. Okay? And then once we formalized all these things, then came the demonetization,
Right.
right? And I said, I don't know what to do now, right? Somehow we fought through the demonetization, we sustained ourselves, okay? And then came the GST, and I was again like, I don't know what to do. Yeah, you've just started a business, you see all these kind of ups and downs.
Right.
But somehow, with grace of God, we sailed through that as well, right? The GST bit that happened. Then things were moving smoothly. All of a sudden, COVID came in, right? In between, so post GST, at Ventureful, we guys were growing very strong and steady, right? But all of a sudden, so we had around 7 odd venture partners across the country at that point in time, right? And all 7 of them said, Devang, we want to discontinue with Ventureful. We don't think we'll be able to, for whatever reasons. Okay, so I don't want to get into the reasons. And I said, not a problem. I continue myself, and I was all alone pulling the cart at that point in time, right? And I rebuilt the entire team after that, right? So today, I'm the solo founder of the company, but at one point in time, I was not the solo founder of the company, right? There were my partners who were there with me. All of them left because of their own reasons, okay? And I said, no worries. I believe in my idea. I know what I'm doing, and I'll pull it off all alone. Yep. So at times you will also see these kind of things where your partners back out, you will not have money in your bank account, right? Your investors will back out you during COVID, right? Um, Investors had given checks. They said, Devang, we want to stop the check right now. We don't think we want to invest in any business at this point in time, right? These kind of things keep happening in any business, right? How do you deal with those kind of situations is very, very important.
Very right.
Yeah. So these are just a few. After COVID, then came your funding winter.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of money sitting in investors' bank accounts, but it's all dry powder at this point. So investors have become very, very shrewd now, very, very smart now. Now they focus on profitability, right? So during your COVID time in the 2021-22 phase, where investors were investing left, right, and center overnight, right? It's not happening anymore now, right? So now markets are changing again. So with changing markets, you have to keep changing your business strategy, the way you operate, with whom you operate, right? All these kind of things. So yeah, I've grown as an individual as well.
I think that is the true definition of the name behind wolf as well. As you rightly said once, that once if the wolf takes a step back, get ready for it to attack. That is amazing. That was one thing that stuck my mind completely. Dev- Devangji, there must be one investment or one thing that really stood out in your life. One investment made, and you were like, okay, now this is the best investment that I've ever made, or this is something I'm actually glad that I've been associated with or I've invested in.
So I'll tell you, one of the companies that I worked with, okay, that's into travel and tourism space.
Right.
I don't mind taking their name as well, okay. So it's 5D Global Travels. Okay.
Right.
These guys approached me during COVID that they wanted to raise funds. I said, who'll invest in tourism and travel at this point? Nobody's traveling at this point in time, right? But I said the day markets open, people will travel. And then that's where we said we'll take up the mandate for you for fundraising, right? We got them the money during the slack time. Okay. And then as soon as the markets opened, these guys touched the turnover of 100 CR in next 2 years.
Wow.
Yeah, that's how it was.
That is amazing.
Yeah. So that's how you need to play the game basically. Yeah. So you need to foresee the future. You need to understand what's going to happen in future and bet your money accordingly.
That is amazing. So I think in the investing space itself, looking at the future matters a lot.
Absolutely.
What do you
Yes.
think that particular quality matters in an individual's life as well?
It does. See again, nobody's God. Okay, so nobody can
Right.
predict future.
Right.
पर तुक्का तो मारना पड़ेगा, है ना? तुक्का तो मारना पड़ेगा. Somewhere I'll have to bet saying this will work. 80-20 chances. Okay, 20% I'm ready to take the loss if it comes, but 80% chances I see this growing. Again, as an investor, when you bet your money, a lot of investors are financial investors which give you the money and then let you do things your way. Okay? But if you're an investor who's put money, who's really looking forward to growing the money, a lot of investors will give you hand holding, guidance, support as well. Right? These investors really make it good in future. Why? Because as an investor, you don't have only have money, but you have your contacts in market, right? You can help those companies grow, your portfolio companies grow. Yeah, that's what we do basically. So at Wolf Group, when somebody gets associated with us, right, it's not only our direct investors that we connect them to, right, but we give them the entire ecosystem that we work with, right? So today I was talking to one of your colleagues. He runs a marketing company, right? So before this podcast, I was just talking to him, right? Probably we can connect him to a lot of businesses, startups that we work with,
Right.
right, where he can grow his business.
I think it's just one thing that paves the way for the another.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Devangji, aside Venture Wolf, who are you as a person?
As a person, I think I'm an entrepreneur creating entrepreneurs. Yeah, that's how.
Wow.
So that's the tagline that I normally use everywhere. Okay, and that's what I want to do throughout my life. I think I have become an entrepreneur. I've seen the rough phase of my life. I know what it takes to become an entrepreneur, right? And if I can utilize this learning of mine to create more entrepreneurs, I think I've done a good job.
Wow,
That's what I want to do.
That is amazing. Okay, that brings me to a question. If you weren't an entrepreneur, what would you be?
I would be dead. Yeah. See again, my focus when I left corporate in 2016, I was very clear
Right.
that I will do whatever it takes, but I'm not gonna do a job anymore. I was so damn sure about it when I left my job in 2016. I will do whatever it takes, but I will do something by myself.
That is great. That is
Yeah.
that is actually some blood of Gujarati family
Absolutely.
too.
See again, you have to take these kind of risks. Yeah, you have to.
Right. What do you think about the tier 2 cities growing up, the tier 2 and 3
Fantastic.
cities?
I think the main crux or the main startups that are gonna come out, okay, are gonna be from tier two and tier three. There's so much of potential in our tier two, tier three. The only thing is, see again, for with tier two, tier three, a lot of ideas are there, but these guys need to come to take the money. Okay, if they expect investors to come and give you the money at their home, it's not gonna happen, right? You will have to travel, right? You will have to travel. You will have to meet investors, right? If you expect investors to come to your home and give the money, sorry, that's not gonna happen. You might have an idea why, because you have a large population residing in tier two, tier three,
Right.
right? So problems of tier two, rather problems of tier three and beyond are very different than your Mumbai, Delhi, Bangalore, Hyderabad.
Right.
Right? Who's going to solve these problems? Specifically, your financial inclusion, your uh, workforce labor, yeah, all these kind of problems. Who's going to solve that?
That is very right.
Yeah.
So it's something that we have always believed at Youth Ki Baat as well. It only needs one idea, one risk, and one person who dared to make a difference.
Absolutely.
What do you think? Is there any one person or one mentor that you have had in your life that you absolutely look up to, or one person which you have met and has impacted you so much that you carry pieces of their advices or the conversation still with you?
So again, as I said, I come from a Gujarati business family, and what happens in our home is, I normally have my lunch at home. My dinners are not planned. So if I'm not at home, then my lunch is not happening at home. But 80% of the times, I have my lunch at home. And whenever I have my lunch on my lunch table, okay, my dad comes and sits on the sofa there. Okay. Even if I have nothing to talk, he'll come and sit there. We have a conversation, nothing serious. Hi, hello, how are you? How was the day? Very, very simple one. But wherever I think I need to discuss something with my dad, right, I'll ask him, Dad, can I ask you something? Right. See, again, he's also been a businessman throughout his life,
Wow.
right? And he has his own experiences. And he's taught me a lot.
That's amazing. Is there any one specific quote that has been stuck in your mind?
Absolutely. Nuksani se darega to nafa kaise karega.
Wow.
And my dad keeps telling that to me. Yeah, you'll have to take those risks. Don't be afraid of making losses.
Wow, that is actually, I can feel the energy of an investor speaking right here, of a person who is creating entrepreneur and entrepreneur creating entrepreneurs. That is absolutely right. Just a fun question in middle.
Sure.
Gujarati cuisine or Maharashtrian cuisine?
Both. Saying both, but I am a Gujarati born, brought up in Mumbai. Okay, so I love vada pav more than dal roti at times. Yeah, so that's how I am.
That just came up into my mind because these two cuisines are
Yeah.
something which have such variety of foods and everything.
But yeah, I have been born, brought up in Mumbai, so I'm a complete Mumbaikar by my heart.
Okay.
Travel in local trains, whistled in
Wow.
theaters. I've done all of that in my life. Yeah.
Okay, what's the one myth about Mumbai then?
One myth about Mumbai. Mumbai is too fast. That's a myth I would say. Yeah?
Yeah.
Mumbai is for everybody. Mumbai, if you know how to pace yourself and adjust to the Mumbai pace, everybody will get adjusted in Mumbai. Mumbai has a very big heart.
That is amazing. That is something that even we had said before coming to college.
Mumbai has a very big heart, let me tell you that, right? With all kind of people, all sort of people, you just know how to get into Mumbai and make it. Again, somebody told this to me. मुंबई में पैसा हवा में घूमता है, हाथ ऊपर करके पकड़ने को आना चाहिए. Money is everywhere in Mumbai. Mumbai is the financial capital of the country. Let's understand that, okay? And money is everywhere. You'll find the best of the best investors. You'll find all opportunities to make money in Mumbai. Okay, you just need to know how to make money. Even a small vada pav guy, okay, might be making thousands on a daily basis. He knows where to set up the stall. The location is very, very important. Outside which station you need to set up that stall, right?
I think the smallest of vendors are the smartest of entrepreneurs.
Absolutely yes. Absolutely yes.
If there was one thing that you could change in the startup ecosystem, what it would be?
I think one thing that I could change in startup ecosystem, I think, would be the chartered accountants doing the valuation, hyped valuation. Right? So I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Okay. So as a chartered accountant, you have to do the valuation. You don't have to raise money for anybody, right? You just do the valuation and then give it to the startup.
Right.
Who has to raise the money? We guys,
The
fundraisers,
entrepreneurs,
right?
yeah.
Now we don't agree to the valuation that the chartered accountant has given here. What do we do with that now? A startup that has just been born, right? You give that startup a valuation of 50 CR. Who's going to give you that valuation? You did the valuation by some method calculating, okay, and say, yeah, your futuristic valuation based on this method is 50 CR. Nobody's going to give you that valuation. Now, an entrepreneur who's just become an entrepreneur, right, just started a business, doesn't understand all these things. And then it becomes very difficult for us to explain him, bhai, tero koi nahi dene wala 50 CR का valuation, है ना?
Do you think LinkedIn and platforms like these have glorified being a co-founder and a founder to a company?
See, again, you can write founder, co-founder. Bottom line, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Right? You can use whatever tags, positions, designations you want. Doesn't matter. Right? At the end of the day, what are you actually doing on ground? Are you really building something? That's what is very, very important.
That is very right.
Even is anybody really concerned about your designation anywhere? The answer is no. What people are concerned about is what are you building? What have you done so far? What is the traction of the company? Right? What your future looks like 6 to 12 months down the line? Will you be able to execute that once you put that down on paper, right? That's what is more important. So today when you look at investors and when investors say come back to us after 6 months, or probably investors delay their response, what are they doing? They're keeping you under observation, right? So probably they are interested, but they just want to see what are you doing in next 6 months. So without money, are you still able to sustain or shut it down or run away or I don't know what, but we'll keep you under observation.
Right. Devangji, where do you see Venture Wolf moving in the next 10 years?
So I'll tell you my vision with Venture Wolf and Wolf. So now we started, as I said, we started Venture Wolf in 2016. Okay.
Right.
And now we are transitioning to Wolf Group.
Right.
Okay. So initially we had only one brand, Venture Wolf, which was an investment banking arm or a fundraising business consultancy that we guys used to operate. Okay. Then we started Wolf Den Investor Summit in 2023. Okay. Then we are coming up with Wolf Club now. Okay. Then we have a podcast channel of our that we coming up with. Very young lady like you, right? Shivangi, she is managing that Wolf Hall for us now.
That's great.
Wolf Club again I've spoken about. Okay. So that's also being managed by one Diana. Okay. Very, very young girl. She's joined us right now. And then we have a dedicated arm called Wolf Reality, which is a dedicated arm relating to real estate space where we help builders, developers, infrastructure players with raising their funds, also societies with their redevelopment needs, right? So these are the brands that we've come up. And above all of this is going to be a Wolf Group now.
Okay.
Right? So this is what is happening with us. So our Venture Wolf is on autopilot. Fiza, she's the CEO, she manages everything, right? And then we have our partners all across the country. Okay? Again, your Wolf Den, headed by Atif, he has his own team who manages that, right? Wolf Club, Wolf, all these things. Now what next? So in 2016, now we are working with an IT partner, right? Where we are coming up with an AI matchmaking platform.
Okay.
for startups and entrepreneurs, right?
Okay.
So
That's
any new
interesting.
fund that gets established or any investor that comes into the market will automatically be onboarded on our system, right? And any new startup who's looking for investor, they come onto our system, they feed in the required details, we do the matchmaking, and we give it to them.
Okay, that is great. That is something actually very new, and I'm very interested by that too.
So we do that in 2016. We are taking some time. We want to settle down. We are consolidating a lot of things that will group at this point in time, right? So I don't want to rush, yeah. But we'll do it in 2026. That's the focus area.
What aspirations did young Devang hold?
See, again, when I was young, probably in college, I didn't know what to do in my life at that point in time. Okay, so I used to enjoy my life. I had my friends, but I never really knew where I'm gonna get into, where life will take me. Then I got into corporate jobs, right? Life was quite stable, and then again, the entrepreneur bug bit me, yeah, and I said I want to become an entrepreneur, right? But again, as a young Devang, I somewhere down the line knew I would become something in my life. I'll make something decent out of my life. That's what I knew. But no specific thing. See, again, I'll tell you one thing. Nobody can predict future, right?
Right.
And God always has bigger plans than you. That's
Right.
something that I have learned in my life. Okay. So you might have your own plan, but He has bigger plans for you.
Very right.
He will take you wherever He wants and whichever way He wants. He will take
Right.
you.
Very right. What do you think would be the one piece of advice that you would give to the youth watching?
This is your time, right? India is growing. This is your time. You have the best available resources that are required in terms of your ecosystem, in terms of your funding, funds, mentorship, everything. Just go out there, take some risk, explore options that you guys have, right?
Right.
Take some risk and do it. If you fail once or twice, it's not a big deal. Yeah. But make sure you have that energy and bandwidth to fail. Okay. Because not everybody has that kind of background to fail. While you want to fail, your family background, your commitments towards your family, all these things also matter.
Right. That is very right.
Very
What
important.
is the one goal? What is the one thing that you would say, think of as a citizen of India, that this is my goal for India, for my country?
Create more entrepreneurs and see India as a Viksit Bharat 2047. Yeah, my role is very very clear. So while I'm a Viksit Bharat ambassador, my role is very clear. I don't want to deviate from my role. I'm an entrepreneur creating entrepreneurs. I want to create more entrepreneurs. Simple as that. And then those entrepreneurs will take it forward from there.
I
I don't
think
have to do everything. I just have to create leaders. That's what I want to do.
that is amazing. I think we have pretty much celebrated the entrepreneurial spirit of our country itself today in this podcast. It was an absolute privilege to have you here today. Any last advices that you would want to give the youth?
As I said, this is your time, right? Go out there, play, enjoy the journey, and have fun. All the best to everybody.
Thank you so much, Devangji.
Thank you.
Looking
Thank you.
forward to collaborate with
Thank
you
you.
in the
Thank you.
future as well. Thank you so much.